Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. I have my good friend,
It's Frenchie from Schmoes in the North.
and I have my other good friend.
Hi, I'm Charlie Widman. I've been on a lot of the other podcasts.
And you know what, though? We're actually going to do a little bit of movie news tonight. As a matter of fact, we actually have some Dexter news that just dropped today. And, Charlie and I have been doing a Dexter after show and everything. We're going to be doing season 2 pretty soon. And this is actually comes at a good time for us to be able to do this kind of movie news and everything. So I'm excited to actually talk about Dexter again. Frenchie and I actually talked about Dexter several other times on the show. He's also a diehard fan of Dexter as well. So, with further ado, let's go ahead and go into the first topic.
All right. So since we started talking about Dexter, the one of the big news that they finally cast the big major role in Dexter. Clancy Brown is going to be joining the revival for a major role. It's and then the article says it's almost like Showtime's upcoming Dexter revival is trying to guarantee success. And now that it's added Clancy Brown to its cast, not only is Brown an outstanding actor, but he's also set to play Kurt Caldwell, the primary villain of the show. Caldwell's character is described as the unofficial mayor of the small town of Iron Lake. He's realized the American dream by going from driving big rigs, just like his father did, to now owning several trucks and local truck stops. Powerful, generous, loved by everybody. He's a true man of the people. If he's got your back, consider yourself blessed. But should you cross Kurt or hurt anyone else that he cares for, gotta help you.
That's interesting.
I actually like that idea, though, because I think that we might actually be dealing with someone that's actually corrupt. Dexter might end up trying to kill a politician on this one, which is totally different from what he normally does. He usually kills other serial killers and stuff like that. So to see him deal with someone that might be corrupt is actually a different spin on the show, just a little bit. But who's to say that this guy doesn't have a dark past to where he might actually be a serial killer? What do you think?
Yeah, well, personally, just with the beards, right? I'm thinking Alaska, first of all. Okay, so he has to go to somewhere that no one's going to find him, right? And for me, hearing the actor, it's the same shock I got when I heard that Lithgow was going to be the villain of season 3 or 4. And this is good quality actors. This is caliber actors. And from what I understand from another article is, they're only going to say this story because it's worth telling. Mm-hmm. And if it's worth telling and something's really quality and you got a quality actor like that, it's going to make some fireworks.
It was interesting because a while back there was rumors that John Cusack was interested, or I think they're trying to approach him to play the Kurt character. And he's played a similar character like what Clancy Brown's going to be doing in Dexter. I think he was in the movie The Frozen Lake, which is actually based on the real life serial killer of that, which Cusack plays serial killer. But also the article mentioned specifically that Dexter is not just targeting Kurt, but it's his son that's the killer. The son is the one that's been got those urges, or the passenger, and that Kurt's been the one that's been covering it up since he's the politician. I don't know. That's what I read a while ago, but that'd be like I said. I mean that's just, I don't know if it's true or not, but that'd be I could say that.
It kind of reminds me right off the bat is a play and spin of like season 1, the relationship between his father and his son. He was just trying to protect the son, right? And trying to do good, like the most you could with someone who's a sociopath. And maybe it's like the flip side, this corrupt person that really is discussing the world still has to protect his son. And this is how he does it, So that's an interesting angle.
Another angle I'm actually looking at it from is like Bates Motel with Norma protecting Norman and everything too on that level. But who's to say that Dexter can't come in there and maybe he might actually have a change of heart a little bit to where he's like, look, I've been down the same road. Harry actually taught me these things. Let me try and help you. Just like how he tried to help that one kid from season 1.
Yes.
Remember? So he might actually try and redeem him, or try to redeem him, but it might end up being the other way around, to where he might actually have to put him down on the table.
Mm.
Well, the kid
So-
part that hasn't been confirmed yet. The main
Right.
thing that confirmed maybe was that Kurt has been casted and he's the politician. So, yeah, this is all speculation from what I read in the current past article. But I mean, it can go either way.
At a minimum, it was a good conversation.
Exactly, because that's what I like doing. It's just
I was
speculation on
intrigued
it.
at how they're going to do. What other main characters from the past show are they bringing back?
For me, and I was gonna say, talk about that. For me, it's important to break the formula, because this show suffered from formula fatigue. Okay, they use something. Oh, the villain. Okay, so what's the villain of the season? But after a while, they're trying the same things in different ways, and it just went haywire. First 4 seasons is holy grail of awesomeness. Then it's So break the formula. Don't detach yourself from the original series. Just have the main character. It's a whole new life, whole new chapter, a whole new book of Dexter.
Right, and to be honest with you, I would like to actually see some of the side characters that he's actually informed with all the time, that he actually grows friendships with, have some type of danger to where he has to try and protect them. Because if you actually think about it, Angel was protected. Lagretta was actually protected. All his friends was protected. I want to have some form of danger when it comes down to this, because I want to have that whole entire suspense of something could happen to his friends that he actually formed friendships with.
Yeah. I want to know about his son, though. The son and the girl he ends up with. Like, they're in London or whatever. I want to know. To be honest, I want to know what happens to his son.
They mean Dexter's son?
Yeah.
You know what? They're probably, just as a nod and, planting seeds, I'm guessing, but they'll probably do in a way that it's going to be one segment. He has a contact. He still talks to someone, or able to get information, just see how they're doing. And we're probably going to reveal 5-6 minutes of the son and his whatever woman he left it to. I forgot her character's name. But then over with, and then back to the main story, and plant the seeds. If people love it and clam for it, well, you have something to go with.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on with our next one.
Right, the next thing is the another Dexter news. Essentially, just an article discussing why Michael C. Hall decided now is the time to bring it back. Essentially, why he decided to come back as the character, and it was so the article was like, it was announced in October, Showtime is bringing back Dexter for a 10-episode limited series revival. Michael C. Hall back at. And showrunner Clyde Phillips, who served as the showrunner for the first half of Dexter's 8-season run, has said that this revival is a continuation of the series that will not discredit anything that happened in the seasons that he wasn't involved in. And then Hall recently sat down for the interview with Daily Beast, and while the main focus was his band Princess goes to the Butterfly Museum, the subject of Dexter revival also came up along the way. He confirmed that Showtime has been trying to get him to return for years to Dexter, but they haven't found the story he felt was worth telling until now. Then he says it's a conversation that's been ongoing, and different possibilities have emerged over the years. I think in this case, the story that's been told is worth telling in a way that other proposals didn't, and I think enough time has passed where it's become intriguing in a way that it wasn't before. And let's be real, people found the way the show left things pretty unsatisfying. And there's always been a hope that a story would emerge that would be worth telling. I include myself in the group of people that wondered what the hell happened to that guy. So I'm excited to step back into it. I never had that experience of playing a character that this many years on. And then he was pretty unsatisfied with the finale. And he said that all the criticisms were unwarranted. Were warranted, he replied.
So I'm actually happy that he decided after all this time, hey, look, I wasn't happy with this whole entire scenario about how it ended, so I'm ready to come back. And I remember during interviews and stuff like that, he's like, no, I'm done with Dexter. Dexter's done. He had his ending. I do not want to come back. And then they come out with a script, right? So that's actually foretelling for him to where he can actually do more things as Dexter. Maybe he can actually do some exploring for his own self. They can do just different things in the realm of Dexter.
Yeah, and what I got from that is as well, he finally had an emotional connection, something that spoke to him, and he can definitely dive himself through. Like he said, it's been a while, right, since he did the character, and he's never tackled on that kind of challenge. And usually when actors are really challenged, because this is the first time they do it, when they really dive deep into it, they're really good. And if he's emotionally connected and you got good performances by the other people, man, we're gonna kill Showtime if you don't do season 2.
I'm as excited he's back. I mean, the fact that the story must have been really good for him to decide, okay, now's the time to bring it back. And I'm excited for it because I absolutely despised how they finished that, how they ended it. It made no sense.
I have a question for you both. When did you start like saying, what the fuck? You know, when was your first what the fuck moment in Dexter?
Like with the ending or the show in general?
Show in general.
When they kill Rita.
Really?
I thought that was like because I started like I said, I haven't watched all season 3, and then I was watching bits and pieces of season 4, and then I read an article discussing what happened at the end of the current episode of season 4, and I'm like, what? And then from that point, that's for me is when the show just dropped. And then the other what the F was how Deb died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
You, John.
For me, it has to be Rita as well, because that was just something that I wasn't expecting. Because you're expecting a happy ending. You're expecting, okay, he got rid of the big bad guy. He's going to go home to his wife and everything, and he's going to go on his trip. Right. But instead, it does a total 360 where a whole total mindfuck of like, you know, okay, yeah, the big bad is dead, but he also got to somebody I cared about before I had a chance to protect her. While I was busy hunting him, he already hunted me. He already scored one for his team. So, you know, he actually had to learn from his mistakes on that part. But another what the F moment for me was also the part where, and it's like whenever the show started going bad, is that the fact where he starts talking to the psychiatrist that his parents knew and everything towards the end of the season. I'm like, okay, I am pretty much bored out of my mind with this show now because it's not going anywhere. There's nothing really there. No meat to actually process anything, nothing for me to actually digest to where I can actually say that I care about the show, but I'm enticed and I'm just drawn into the show because I was hoping maybe, you know, it's like wrinkles, right? You're trying to, in your ironing, and you're just trying to get those wrinkles out. So I'm like, okay, maybe this first couple of set of episodes for like the last season is just the iron just getting the wrinkles out. But once I saw them going where they were going, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what they're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it was quite the contrary for the death. I was so shocked, and I understood, you know, the irony of it. Like the bad guy won. The bad guy won, and there was nothing he could have done. But me, it's the progression after. I was expecting season 1. What the fuck happened? And it went to a weird place. And more it progressed, more my brain went like, ooh, there's something happened in the writing room here. They're not on the par. And it just kept going on and on every season. I was like hoping, okay, we're going to get something good. And then shit, just a diarrhea river, right? And then it's at the point that his sister actually gets him murdering someone, and it felt just so pushed in. There was no like gratification. There's no like, wow, that was a moment. It just seems so fabricated and out of place that then I was like, okay, I'm done.
I think they should have done that if they were going to have Deb find out. It should have been in season 1 when Dexter saved her from like before Rudy got her. I mean, I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it early on, not like season like end of season 6 or so or whatever. I don't know. I mean, that was weird.
I think they should have done it that last episode, the last season. Like she dies, she finds out, and then he actually kills her or something like that. It would have been an impact. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. let me ask you this. What do you think about this idea? Because I asked Charlie about this before, but my speculation was this. You know how he's always narrating in first person, right?
Mm.
So my thing is, what if he's actually just reminiscing about his life, how he got to the point where Deb is actually having him on the table? And Deb is
Oh,
the one who has to try to end him because she tried helping him, but it's just not working, right?
Mhm.
So the only way to do it is to end him. So he's reminiscing about everybody he killed from the point he met Rita all the way up until that point that she catches him into where she has to just go on ahead, put justice into her own hands and kills him.
yeah. It's you see, so many good ideas, yet the studio were like, let's plug him in like desperation card, you know? Like your
And
pitch was actually the actual pitch they gave, and you know, they listened to you, amazing pitch. Yeah, let's just kill her in season 6.
right. And another thing though too was, and I have to agree with you on this, having Tom Hanks' son in there, he's a great actor. But to have that twist in there just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
A lot of the my what the F moments after season 4 happened in the last season. How Deb got shot and she's I'm fine. Then she becomes comatose. Then she's practically dead. So there's that. How he gets away of killing the guy on camera, and how they just easily believe that oh yeah, it was self-defense.
Yeah, I blocked it on my memory. Wow, okay.
Yeah, and then or just how he just how it ends. I mean, geez, that was just that whole ending was just.
All right. I'm getting depressed, John.
Okay, so Charlie, tell us what we have next on the menu for tonight for our next topic.
Our next topic is Taiki
Taika
Waititi. Yeah, okay, I
Taika
can't pronounce
Waititi.
I like that.
I'm-
Tahiti.
Taiki. Okay, he's doing a new series called Our Flags Means Death, and it casts Reese Darby as the lead. So essentially, it's Avast me hearties, pull up your bootstraps, hoist the mainsail, because Ross Darby is cast as the lead in Our Flag Means Death, HBO Max's period comedy series from the director of What We Do in the Shadows. The series marks yet another collaboration for the duo, who in the past have worked together on like What We Do in the Shadows and Flight of the Conchords. Darby is set to star in Waititi's upcoming soccer feature Next Goal Wins, which tells the story of American Samoa soccer team who suffers the worst loss in World Cup history. The show is loosely based on the true adventures of Steed Bonnet, played by Darby, a well-to-do gentleman farmer and child of wealth who suffers a midlife crisis and becomes the captain of the Revenge, a pirate ship in the early 18th century. Bonnet was a moderately wealthy landowner who later returned to life to crime as a pirate. He bought a sailing vessel and named it Revenge and traveled with his paid crew along the eastern seaboard of what is now the United States, capturing other vessels and burning other Barbadian ships. Okay.
Hey, Taika, you've been
It's right up
smoking
his
some
alley.
good stuff, man.
Right up his alley because he's in that
Definitely.
stuff.
I'm sold on it though.
Imagine the movie
I love
pitch.
pirate movies. Though, because not only that, but I think this is a comedy if I'm not mistaken.
Mm,
It
And everything.
probably is.
Yeah,
sounds
because
like
I remember Roca or somebody on SEN Live talking about it when it was first announced, and I think this is actually a matter of fact a comedy movie, and I'm all for it. He's actually thinking outside the box a little bit. He has his little 80s kind of flavor to it a little bit, it seems like, with this whole entire aspect of the pirate ship and everything. I can just see him putting his own little spin on it and his own little flavor of Taika Waititiism, if you will. But
It's a TV series.
well, still, I'm still
Yeah.
happy that it's still going to be a,
Yeah.
TV series actually feels like a movie now if you actually think about it.
yeah.
So it's just good to see him in doing a smaller type thing on a smaller screen rather than a movie. And I think that it'll actually, a matter of fact, I think it might actually grow some gravitas towards people that like the last Thor movie. So I know I'm going to be watching this.
I probably will. It's HBO Max, and I have it, so I might as well. And I'm excited for his new Thor movie. That cast is going to... This called Avengers 5. That's what you got to call it.
Oh, I think we.
Yeah.
Hold on. But yeah, I think that it's going to be really good, though. I mean, I think that Taika Waititi is actually going to wind up doing what he always does best, is making us laugh, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
it was just interesting during the one interview he was doing for that Free Guy movie about the trailer that him and Ryan Reynolds said they always wanted to be in a movie together. And the two castmates were like, you were Green Lantern. I'm like, he wasn't in Green Lantern. I'm like, holy crap, he was in Green Lantern.
yep. I thought that was actually funny, though, how they actually have them all together. And you know, like you said, he's like, I think we worked together. No, we never worked together. I don't know what you're talking about. So
I'm excited for that. They need to release that movie soon. Free Guy is going to be great.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Frenchie's back. So so what were we gonna say though, Frenchie, about this movie? About this TV series?
It sounds so ridiculous. Only he could pull it off. Like, again, if he pulled off a comedy about Hitler, he's proven to the world he can take any subject. Okay, so this sounds completely ridiculous, and yet at the same time, fuck, am I like so happy I have HBO, and I can't wait to see things. How good is HBO doing?
It's
They
doing
can.
great.
Their plan is working. People keep talking about HBO and what they're doing. They're changing the game, and they're bringing content like this. Is not blockbuster stuff, but it's things that I'm gonna take 2 hours of my day to watch this.
Same. And it's original content. It's something
Yeah.
that we've been wanting. It was like, well, where's all the original stories at? All we getting is sequels, reboots, prequels.
Yeah.
This is it. This is HBO doing what it needs to be doing. And there's a big machine right now trying to feed us and everything. And we need to just take a minute to actually look at what's in front of us. And they're doing a good job at selling us on what they have.
It hasn't been out a year yet. It was just released in May, HBO Max. And the fact that we're already getting all this content. I mean, at the end of this month, we get a movie with Denzel, Jared Leto, and Rami Malek. I mean, we're getting, and it was Warner Brothers, and we're getting it on HBO Max. I mean, people might hate that idea of what HBO Max is doing, but I think it's smart what Warner Brothers is teaming up to do. I think it's a win-win for both sides.
They're panicking Disney and Netflix. That's what they're doing. They're shaking up the cage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't even interested in Disney Plus anyway. I mean, I was going to go HBO Max. I had to buy one. HBO Max all the way.
Sorry, John.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was, too, they're actually evolving. They're actually doing something that they're actually, you know, what I'm thinking is, my line of thinking is this, like, we're stuck in an age where movie theaters used to be the biggest thing. So they're trying to incorporate both. They're trying to go ahead and say, you know what? We know we have the pandemic. We know we have an issue. We need to release these movies. Otherwise, they're going to just be in the vault for a while and keep pushing back to the point they're never going to get released. So therefore, they have to go on ahead and think of something. So HBO Max, putting it on a streaming service makes sense. And, you know, we also saw the benefits of them actually doing it on streaming and also at the movie theaters at the same time. So, you know, we can actually have fans that might actually go see this movie on their TV and then say, you know what, I wonder what that experience would be like at a movie theater. And let's say the pandemic's over with. They're going to go on ahead and maybe go in their car and go see this movie, regardless of the fact that they have already seen it on the TV. Yeah. Seeing in a theater is a total different experience.
I mean, there's some movies that are coming for HBO Max like later in the year, like September, October, next December, that I personally would rather go see in the theater than watch on HBO Max. So if the theaters are open by then, I'll try to, and everything's calmed down to a degree, I'll try to go to the theater to see. I mean, nothing's going to stop me from seeing The Matrix 4. I got to see that in the theaters.
Oh, yeah. Don't break my heart like that, Charlie. I didn't think of it. I want to see the theaters too. Oh, no.
But it's coming both, so we'll see. I mean, they plan that's coming out in December, so that we still got. They were just planning it ahead.
Gap.
Yeah, so it's a huge. But no, like I said, The Matrix. Yeah, I gotta go to the theater to see that. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Tara says I don't have HBO Max. Sounds interesting.
I like it so far.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
I know. I just said, Tara, treat yourself. Get HBO Max. It's worth it.
It definitely is. The catalog that they have old movies, they have the Harley Quinn animated show on there.
Yes.
The list
So
just
good.
goes on and everything. Matter of fact, I
Titan,
watched
yeah.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead and everything, and I haven't seen that movie since I was a teenager, so I went on ahead and revisited my teenage years. So,
And anything, if you have HBO, anything from HBO is on the HBO Max app anyway, and it's also the only exclusive place that's getting the Justice League Zack Snyder cut.
Which that alone is worth it.
Absolutely.
definitely. So,
I mean, yeah.
so what else do we have?
Well, speaking of the Snyder cut, we have a couple Zack Snyder information. So Zack Snyder's upcoming movie, he's got a zombie heist movie called Army of the Dead, which it's supposed to hit Netflix later this year. And it's essentially the director has revealed some of the first images along with some new details about the anticipated project. Snyder shared the images in an interview along with some comments from the cast, co-stars Dave Bautista, and Tig Notario. So it is a full-blown balls-to-the-wall zombie heist movie. So it's a genre on genre in a great way. So you expect pure zombie mayhem, and you get that 100%. But you also get these really amazing characters on a fantastic journey. It's going to surprise people that there's a lot of warmth and real emotion with these great characters. With Dawn of the Dead, we made a zombie movie, but tried to do it all the way with all those tropes of the genre. That was so fun. So I started to think of what were the other genres that story didn't have room for. It's the tone where you have fun with the genre, but you don't make fun of the genre. It's a fine line. And he also shared news about the upcoming 4-part animated prequel series, Army of the Dead, Las Vegas, which will feature Batista, Notario, and much of the film's principal cast. Yeah, that was about it. And the rest of his interviews, but
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna let Frenchie go into this.
Yeah, I mean, we're at that point. Do you want to make more zombie movies? You got to, it's like superhero movies. You got to mix it up. At one point, there's so much you can do with like population trying to survive, that little group, and it's time to make things popping, right? And a heist movie and a zombie movie. My speculation right off the bat is the cure has been found. It was created at the same time as the disease. This is a human-made disease, right? COVID influences. We're going to see a lot of that. And human-made a zombie thing made by a pharmaceutical company already have the solution, and they have to break in and try to get it. Yeah.
That's what I was going with. That's whenever my wheels was actually turning in my head as you were telling me this. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. This is going to be like a Fast and the Furious heist kind of film, zombie apocalypse, dealing with trying to see who was going to get the cure first.
Ooh.
Kind of thing, kind of like a Mad Max Fury Road type of thing too. But like you said, Frenchie, I mean, you can only do so much with zombie movies, and we got an ass load of them in the early 2000s. To the point where it's like, okay, we get it, slow zombies, fast zombies, it's all the same stuff. And even I lost interest in The Walking Dead, and I'm like, there's only so much you can do with those characters. You already put them through hell and back again. You can't grow these characters anymore. It just becomes a repetitive process. So what Zack Snyder's doing is he's giving us something that hasn't been done before. Doing a heist movie during an apocalypse, I'm also for it. I'm definitely going to get my ticket and whenever I watch this movie at my house. What about you, Charlie?
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, like Zack Snyder knows how to make some good movies, and he's probably going to take advantage of the slow motion effect from his 300 days. I mean, you just know there's going to be like a horde of them, and Dave Bautista is going to have to fight every single one of them.
Now, I have a question for you boys. We're putting ourselves into Zack Snyder's shoes, right? We're making this heist movie zombie. What is the one movie you choose to be your heist inspiration side of the movie? For me, it's Italian Job. That just the feel of it, like almost British feeling.
Okay. But me, I would actually have to. I love the British though. The British thing is actually pretty cool. So it would actually be pretty cool if it was actually Canadian. Go a little bit different.
Well, we don't. Canadians don't steal things, John. We don't have no heist movies. Interesting. I don't know what that means, though.
Well, it would probably be like the only place that they actually have the cure at is probably at Canada, so therefore they actually have to get to Canada.
Okay, and you, Charlie?
I would have to probably go maybe if it's. I think I could see it be set in Boston, like the town-esque. Essentially, I mean, I was thinking Fast Five. That heist sequence was just phenomenal. Like that. Yeah, that was awesome. But I think it depends. I don't even know. I haven't even seen trailers. I just saw one image, so I have to see more to see what type of heist this is. But I mean, from what I'm reading, it could either be a mixture of what Fast Five did or what the town did. But then again, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not Zack Snyder.
What other heist movies? Oh.
You want a new storyline, new different characters. You don't want to go the same idea route as someone already did. That's kind of the
problem.
The problem is every idea has already been used, and that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing interesting.
Like we got romantic comedy zombie movies. That was Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
So we got that. There hasn't been much plays. Like, when's the next sci-fi zombie movie? Give us Dead Space or something in zombies.
You know what I would like to actually see, and this is not zombies at all. What about an alien invasion during a home invasion?
Your brain like, hey, invasion. We can merge them.
Right.
You can't do any weather related ones because they did two bad ones from the hurricane heist. I mean, that was god awful. And then you got the one I watched called Force of Nature, where if like Angel Batista is trying to steal a painting in the middle of like this epic storm mixture of all of them, this in a small house. I mean, you can't do that. One's been done like to a pulp.
That's true.
Yeah. And at least we know Zack Snyder is going to offer something beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I always I like what they described it as a zombie movie within a heist movie. I mean, there's genre combinations. I mean, I did a paper in college. I think I did it on Aliens about how they mixed all those types of genres into one to make it not truly horror. It had horror elements, but it wasn't strictly a horror movie. So I think that like the mixture of the genres is a cool idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, John, you're what to say?
Yeah. So speaking of Zack Snyder, you know what he could actually use? He could actually use something from the NBA store. You know, he could use it's a new year. You know, it brings the start of a new NBA season. Suit up with the latest gear to show your support for your team. Why not? We may be sidelined from getting to the arena, but that doesn't mean you can't watch basketball from your couch in style. We are teaming up with the NBA and Pago to bring our listeners up to 75% on select items. Yes, you heard that right. Go to pago.co/NBA for up to 75% off select items from the NBA store. The NBA is where amazing things happen, like Zack Snyder's zombie movie. So,
hey, and Charlie, by the way, we know you're going to go on Pago after. What team are you buying?
Probably 76ers.
NBA, though. NBA.
Yeah.
76ers. Philadelphia 76ers.
Okay. I got this is how much I know about football, apparently, and basketball. It's I thought of 49ers.
Wow.
Too many numbers.
Needless to say, you're not going to the NBA store.
I'm in that show. But again, TO for me, Toronto Raptors, seeing Drake happy like that, it made me smile. So for me, it's all about Toronto.
And you know what else, though? I actually saw a little pop figure of Michael Jordan, so I might actually get me a little pop figure of Michael Jordan. So,
you're not getting Boston Celtics guy?
You're talking about Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get him too.
All right.
I'll get Larry. I'll get Michael. You know.
But again, we're gonna save 75%. So what a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And tell us what else you have for us, Charlie.
All right. So And another Zack Snyder fan is like he was getting interviewed and he decided we are always known Zack Snyder as a DC guy. Well, he came out and he said about he reveals which Marvel comic movie he would like to adapt. So he says he recently revealed that he'd be interested in directing the film starring Daredevil and Elektra. So said that's the next Marvel comic storyline he'd like to tackle next. He was recently asked that during an interview with Comic Book Debate. I would choose Elektra Lives Again. Snyder commented, "Do you know that Frank Miller comic book? It's a graphic novel about Elektra. Daredevil's having these demons about Elektra coming back to life, and that's really cool and weird." Yeah. So, and he also praised the Lynn Varley's work on Elektra Lives Again.
Okay. I saw everybody in the comments section and everything else when this story broke today and things like that and making fun of it. But me, on the other hand, I'm like, this actually fits the bill for Zack Snyder. I can imagine the scenery, the whole layout, the whole entire exposition of what Elektra is. I can see him doing a whole different spin on it and everything, especially whenever he looks at his special effects with the camera angles and things like that. To me, I think that it actually he totally fits in with that.
And it's Frank Miller too. I mean, he's known for working with his adaptations. I mean, 300 was a Frank Miller, and the action in that was fantastic. And I can imagine a lot of slow motion like at fight sequences that Elektra has with whoever. And heck, I'll take more Daredevil. I mean, we always need we need more Daredevil at this point. I mean, Marvel, call up Zack Snyder. He's available.
Now, I'm curious. Who do you take, right? You're probably going to try to avoid the Netflix Elektra, so you would have to recast, I'm believing, right?
They technically Marvel has the rights. The rights for Daredevil was reverted back to Marvel, I think, either November or December. So it's just recently they got the rights back, so that's why there's speculation that Matt Murdock was going to return in Spider-Man 3.
With Charlie Cox coming in.
Yeah.
And everything.
Okay, so in that case, you would have to keep if they're going that route anyways, would have to keep because Elektra was on the show, so.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm fine with
they
that.
gotta bring her back again. That's like the second time they'll have to bring her back.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how many times do I have to die for this role? Right?
I mean, she's already died twice already.
Right.
Well, technically, they did kill him off last season, right? So that maybe that was their way to just clear the way to just, like this Elseworld Daredevil, right? What they're doing with Batman, they could do it with this, right? Just forget the show. Here's the new one, and then recast Daredevil, recast everything.
You know what? Just go with the Marvel Knights way of doing it. Make it its own rated R universe where we have Ghost Rider, where we have the Punisher, where we'll have Daredevil and Elektra and all these and Blade and have all these R-rated characters that we actually love. Call it Marvel Knights Studios. Go on ahead, go deep with this, and also have Zack Snyder filming Elektra.
But where do you put it?
Intro.
Where do you can't put it on Disney if it's rated R. What platform? That's the issue.
Well, they have Fox. Well, they still have Fox that they can actually branch off of.
It's like 20th Century I think it's like 20th Century Studios or something like that. I think they rebrand that. Yeah, I mean, because they're allowing Daredevil to be R-rated, and that's going to be under the Disney umbrella. But it's like I think they're probably going to keep this. The studios probably be the same. So I guess maybe have another studio take it on. I guess I'm not 100% sure. I mean, there's speculation that Thomas Jane wants to direct John Barfano in a Punisher movie. I mean, talk about Passion of the Torch right there.
Mm-hmm. And I want John Bernthal back. I actually have an autographed pop by John Bernthal. So
John Bernthal's the one who played before, right?
Yes.
On Netflix?
Yes.
Yep.
He is Punisher. Yeah, Shane from The Walking Dead. Yeah, he's perfect for it. I mean, he even when I got my photo with him at AwesomeCon in DC, I got a photo with him. I mean, it was like, Punisher. Yep. So, I mean, give us more Punisher.
All right. So, what else do we have on there, Charlie?
The last thing here was this information regarding, like, they're like, since it was starting the new year, they're talking about, like, biggest box office hits from 2020, and that was Bad Boys for Life was the big moneymaker. well deserved. So they said the box office win has come with an asterisk since pretty much everything else in 2020 is delayed with the wake of 2020 COVID-19. But Sony Pictures has a reason to celebrate because that movie was number one. It ended up with a domestic figure of $206.3 million. When the global factored in, the film brought its total to $426.5 million, making it the second highest grossing film of 2020 globally. And taking a number. Oh, I think that was the. Oh yeah, and that's weird. I'm thinking this is 1917 was the number 2 spot. Interesting. Okay, that was the weird. But anyway, Bad Boys for Life was the top grossing movie in 2020.
Go on ahead, Frenchie.
This is how bad 2020 was. Your top movie is Bad Boys 2 or 3 or whatever Bad Boys was.
I love the Bad Boys movie. I'm right there with Josh McCouga. I'm right there with Josh McCouga, man. You know who Josh is. The wild man.
Oh yeah.
I tweeted out, right? As a matter of fact, I tweeted out to Josh, as a matter of fact, as I was getting ready to watch it in theaters, and he ended up liking my tweet. But I just loved it because it was so long since we actually saw those two together. The chemistry just fit. And the story just flowed. The two directors that directed this film, and it wasn't Michael Bay, they did a good job at just bouncing off of each other ideas. You can tell that they expanded on each other's ideas. And that's what I loved about it. It actually felt like that they didn't miss a beat. And that was actually something I was actually fearful for, especially watching the trailer. So I went on ahead and saw this movie. You know what else I was actually surprised about? That The Invisible Man is not even on that list, because that was actually the last movie I saw in theaters. And I thought because of the positive reviews and also, too, people were still going at that time, I'm actually surprised that didn't make the list.
That's one of the movies that's going to be a cult classic. No one saw it, but after they saw it, because I saw it on Crave, and fuck, my girlfriend does not like suspense horror movies, and she loves this movie. There was a time she was cheering like, "You beat him!" It got her. It finally got her. So to have that effect of my girlfriend with that kind of movie, it's a cult movie.
Right, and Tara also said this. She goes, and she's talking about like the Marvel stuff and things like that. But what I don't understand is, why do they kill off a character and then a few seasons and then they bring the character back?
Yeah, well, it's
the setup was interesting how they did it at the end of season 2, though. Daredevil.
It's a comic book thing too. Yeah. Like, if you understand comic books, they erase things and bring it back a couple years after, and like readers like, okay, it's new, and they just forget. It's a new story, so it's more of a comic book thing. It's what they're doing with Batman, right? They're setting it apart completely from DCU. It's a whole different Batman from Ben Affleck, and they'll both be on at the same time, but it's a different Batman, and comic book people just accept it.
Right. And I also feel like this, like, depending on who the villain is or the hero is, too, I think fans glamour for certain characters to where they're actually loved, and they actually look at that as well. They're like, well, you know what? Maybe we killed him off too early. Maybe we could go on ahead and bring him or her back and try and do something different. And I think that's also, too, where that also comes in as well. But, yeah, that's where that comes in, though, Kara. Let's see.
And as well, if I can add in, it's the studio saying, okay, this is not going anywhere. We have to use him eventually. We can't let him alive, because then you have like, but what happened? People get confused, right? So that's why, in this case, they saw this was going nowhere. Kill him off, rest him aside a bit. We'll bring out something soon, right? So it's the most logical way they could have done it, just to pass on the torch.
Exactly. And Charlie, did you have anything else that you wanted to add to that whole entire thing about Bad Boys being number 1? I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
I loved the movie. I was a huge fan of the first two. I was excited for this one because I was like, oh, they're really putting the two of them in real danger, because the last few ones they were in danger. But then again, it was Michael Bay style, so he always makes it kind of if it's R-rated, hard R. But in a sense, he's got his own. It feels cartoony in a sense. Like the second one, there's a lot of felt cartoony, not visually, but this one, getting a grittier take on it. I mean, it was like, seeing all the the fan favorites. Like, oh, you really like this character? Oh yeah, we're pulling Game of Thrones. Yeah, we're taking that person out. I'm like, that one was like that was a bummer because I like that character.
Exactly. And like I said before, I know I said this to you too, Charlie, but I felt like, they actually did something different. Will is actually in danger. You actually feel like he's in danger. He's going through PTSD. He's going through different levels of fear that we haven't seen from Mike Laurie before. And now he's having to face that. And we don't know if it's something from his past, a reoccurring character. We were on the edge of our seats wondering who this villain actually is.
Yes.
And when we actually had it revealed to us, that plot twist, it just blew my mind.
Yeah, I was because it wasn't anybody I was expecting. I actually thought it was literally somebody from the past movies that was coming back.
All right, you guys I'm gonna have to recheck it. Maybe I was harsh. I'll see.
But
Well,
you know what? I want to do a reaction for that.
All right.
And going on the take about bringing characters back, it works, but then it doesn't work. Like, nobody wants to see Uncle Ben die for the 10,000th time. Leave that poor man alone.
Yeah.
Or Bruce.
They're even turning into rice.
I get to see. Who am I reading for? Uncle Ben. Fuck.
Honey, we have no more food. All right. So, hi. Do you have a job for me, Uncle Ben? Again? Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, it's
Sure,
pretty
why
much
not?
conversation. Yeah.
You only have
All
a
right.
5-minute scene. So, all right, guys. So, does anybody else have any more questions or anything like that for us? Let's see. Hold on. What's going on? Private chat. Okay, that's fine, man. I understand that you actually have to go and everything. You have things that you have planned out. Go ahead, do your plugs and everything, and where can people reach you at?
All right. So, Schmoes on YouTube is where you can find me. If you know what Schmodown is, if you don't, go check it out. It's amazing. But if you do, we do Norton Consultations, which is interviews with the players. We also go over the sport itself, the matches itself on Schmodown Night in Canada. And audio side, you can find the Frenchie talks about. We dive deep into really random subjects sometimes with specialists of that subject, and we really go hard and deep in subjects. I even got John to confess a couple of things from the heart. All right, so thank you very much for being on. Nice to see you again, Charlie. John, see you next time.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I almost hit end broadcast. Oh, boy.
All right, so is there anything that you wanted to talk in particular off of that doesn't have anything to do with the news or anything like that for the movies? Was there anything that popped off to you earlier today that you saw?
No, nothing's really. I haven't really seen much new out there.
Same here. Yeah. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go on ahead and end this right now. And I just want to thank Frenchie for being on. Thank you, Charlie, for being on. Thank you, Tara, for asking us questions in the chat. We do appreciate that. Another thing, too, guys, is Frenchie and I are actually teaming up to do trailer reaction videos. So, in other words, not only is this trailer reaction video is going to be streaming from my channel, but it's also going to be streaming from his channel, too. So, therefore, you can go to Schmoes in the North. And, matter of fact, we're actually going to be calling this new segment called Neighbors. So you guys can also check that out soon. We did our first trailer reaction to a Netflix film that's going to be available for everyone to watch in a few minutes or so. So go in and check that out whenever you guys can. Another thing, too, guys, is if you want to go on ahead and donate towards the show, you guys don't have to, but I understand that if you want to show some generosity, go on ahead, click the link below and everything, and you guys will go on ahead and donate to the show. Another way they can show support is we are actually sponsored by Audible as well. Go in and click the link below, and guess what? You guys get 30 days free of a free trial for your audiobooks and everything. So go on ahead, give that a chance. And also, too, if you want to go for all your entertainment needs and wants and everything, we have a page called www.movieloversunite.com. Go on ahead, go over there, and tell me what you guys think about that. We also have a Patreon. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing our classic movie review for Caesar coming up Sunday with Tamika. And then we're also doing our Doom Patrol review Saturday with Tamika. So I cannot wait to do that. And we're doing season 1 of Doom Patrol, not season 2 yet. I decided just to break it down season by season because it just makes it easier. And then, of course, you can find us on Pinterest at Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite, and also on our Facebook page, Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite. And we also have an Instagram, Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite over there. You can also follow me on Twitter at JohnDiegorio8 or at Movie Lovers Unit. And as always, until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been great. Thank you guys again for joining us. Thank you, Charlie. And always until next time, guys, bye-bye.
See ya.